to be honest with me right now. Like, genuinely, brutally honest. When was the last time you paused an anime? Not because something emotional happened, not because somebody died, but because a single frame looked so good that your brain needed a second to process it. Because that is happening to me every single week now. We are living in the golden age of anime production, and I don't think people fully understand what's going on. Like, the sheer volume of stunning anime that is either currently airing or about to release is actually disgusting. So today, I want to walk you through every anime that has me convinced we are witnessing something special. Some of these you already know, some of these you never heard of, and if one pops up that you do know, you can go ahead and skip to the next one. Or probably not, actually. Please don't. In a land far, far away, there's a girl named Coco. Her mom's a dressmaker. Coco wants to be a witch, and everyone in this world knows that magic is something you're born with, not something you learn. Until she catches a witch named Carefree doing something strange, using magic by drawing. Like, this man think he on Disney Channel, and this girl, being a child, does what any curious and completely unqualified person does when they witness something like this. She tries it herself. Her mom gets turned to stone, her house gets destroyed, and that's episode 1. No, hell no! So Coco begs Carefree to teach her, and he agrees, but somewhere in the background of all of this, there's this sinister cult named the Brimmed Caps, and they're cooking up something evil. And you already know it's gonna be bad, judging off that absolutely atrocious name. If you like Harry Potter, Witch Hat Atelier. Lord of the Rings, Witch Hat Atelier. If you like looking at beautiful, gorgeous things, Witch Hat Atelier. Ooh, Witch Hat Atelier. I feel a little French with it. Here's the thing though, the reason this manga blew up in the first place is because of the art. The mangaka, Kamome, draws with actual physical wooden pens and ink. But the adaptation is being done by Bug Films, the studio who made Some 100. And I know, I watched Some 100 episode 1, and I was like, okay, we're eating. And then they literally had to stop airing mid-season because the studio fell apart. So the anxiety is valid, but this project has already been delayed, and the mangaka is personally involved, telling them every little detail about the world she built in her head. If this adaptation holds up, which it already clearly is, Witch Hat Atelier could be the best fantasy anime of this generation. Friend fans, do not quote me, do not come for me, I'm sorry, I am sorry. The Sekiro anime got a new trailer about 2 to 3 months ago, and let me be upfront with you, the first one had me shook. Like, visually it looked rough. You had people saying they were using AI, it kinda looked flat. I was preparing to be disappointed. This new trailer was a completely different conversation. The studio making it is Studio Chuzilla, which, I'll be real, I've seen their portfolio and most of the stuff I've never heard of, and would probably rate a 6 out of 10 on a good day. I am terrified. So the real question is, why are they even touching Sekiro? All my fears faded away when I found out who the director was. Kenichi Katsuna. Now, this guy has a long history with One Punch Man and Naruto. And if you've ever watched one of those shows and suddenly one episode hits completely different, there's a reason. You can feel that this man has touched it. But that's not even gonna be the best part about this anime. The best part, in my humble opinion, is that it's fully hand-drawn. No 3D models trying to look like an anime. Actual hand-drawn animation. It looks like a painting decided to move. The backgrounds are stunning. The characters are less detailed, which can feel off at some points. But in motion, oh my god, it looks amazing. So if the Elden Ring movie gets this level of care, and yes, there's an Elden Ring movie coming, that's a whole nother conversation. This anime could single-handedly change how we view video game adaptations from now on, especially after that Devil May Cry adaptation, because that was some bullshit. Coming into spring 2026, I only had 3 shows on my radar: ReZero and Still Ball Run. Still Ball Run? Still Ball Run? Where's episode 2? I was prepared to have a pretty chill season until Still Ball Run ruined my fucking season. And then one trailer showed up in my feed and I stopped everything I was doing, which was losing a ranked game in Fortnite, so this was actually an improvement to my evening. I stared at my screen because this anime looked like a manga in motion. This is Nippon Sun Goku, and I don't hear anyone talking about it because not only is the animation insane, but the story is actually really good. The premise goes like this. this. Some kind of nuclear war destroys the world. Japan wasn't a war zone, but when the rest of civilization collapsed, Japan eventually falls too. 10% of the population survives. The country then splits into 3 factions. You've still got modern infrastructure, buildings, highways, cities, but the people are living like it's the Edo period. Samurai, shogunates, all of that. The vibe of this anime is genuinely unlike anything I can compare it to. Dystopian post-apocalyptic that somehow feels like a historical epic. I didn't know those 2 things could coexist until now. Episode 1 sets up this main character and his wife. Happy couple in a miserable world. You already know what's about to happen, and it does happen. A tax collector, boy came to collect them taxes, actually came to collect his wife's head because she insulted him. Now I kind of feel bad about that joke, I'm sorry. Now in other anime, that moment turns our guy into a rage machine, and he almost does. He's right there and then he stops and thinks, if I do this, I die, and then what? So instead, my boy uses his brain. Unlike a lot of anime MCs nowadays, he plans on getting his revenge through his wife's one wish: unify Japan. Political scheming, assassinations, outsmarting everyone in the room. This is an anime that rewards you from paying attention, and I am so strapped in it's not even funny. 14th century Japan. Unuashi is a 12-year-old kid born into a traveling theater troupe where acting and dance are just how you live. But Unuashi genuinely doesn't get it. He can't understand why certain movements matter. I can't understand why I just went from like a Chinese accent to an Australian accent to a British accent. But everything changes when he has this chance encounter in a rundown shack that completely reframes how he thinks about performance, beauty, and what it means to commit to something. And here's what I think is the coolest part about this entire thing. Our main character is a real person. Not only is this anime beautiful, but it's based on real life events. This is the kind of anime that literally increases your IQ after watching it. And trust me, being a ReZero fan has literally dismantled every single brain cell I have. I know, I do not need to explain what Jujutsu Kaisen is. So I'm not gonna do that. Your little cousin knows what this is. My grandma knows what JJK is. Right, Granny? After JJK Season 2, I walked into the Culling Games expecting good fights and pretty decent animation. I honestly didn't want crazy animation because what they're doing at Mappa is actually kind of atrocious behavior, is what I would say if Mappa wasn't putting the greatest comeback in anime history. You know, I made a video on that if you want to go check it out right here. But then episode 4 happened. Maki versus the Sinning Clan, and I genuinely paused and said out loud, are they seriously doing this right now this early? Because that fight had season finale energy in episode 4. But what actually separates this season from everything else isn't even the action, it's the direction that involves real camera logic, real scene composition, and then fuses it with this surreal, stylized animation that the show's always had. The result is something that I've literally never seen done before in animation. Then the Sendai Colony finale. Oh my goodness. 3-way domain expansion. When the credits rolled, I had literally ran out of oxygen because I had forgot to breathe in 28 minutes. That's how good this episode looked. This fight is going in the Hall of Fame. I will fight anyone about it. If you haven't watched JJK Season 3, what the hell are you doing? First of all, let me go ahead and say this. Fate Strange Fake is the best Fate anime ever made. If you watched a good chunk of the Type Moon stuff, you already know I'm right. And if you haven't, do not start here. I am serious. Whoever told you this is a good entry point into Fate lied to your face. With love probably, but they lied. Now for people who don't know, this started as a April Fool's fan fiction written by the same person who wrote Bakano and Durarara. The second I found that out, everything clicked. No main character, follows 12 people at once. That chaotic, what the hell is going on, but I love its energy and how this anime looks, because I don't understand how this is a TV anime. I genuinely don't. It has better production quality than 99% of anime movies. There is this insane consistency where even scenes where absolutely nothing is happening have full fluid animation for no reason. A1 Pictures made this, yes, this Sword Art Online studio. A1's animation has always been elite. The talent is there, and with that being said, please watch Fate Strange Fake, and I'm not gonna tell you twice. Actually, I will tell you twice. Please watch it. The Don studio just picked up Ghost in the Shell. Take a second to think about that. This is Science Seru, the most visually aggressive, chaotic, deliberately stylized studio working right now. Coming to Prime Video in July, this is a full reboot, going all the way back to Masamune Shirou's original 1989 manga. And that matters because the last Ghost in the Shell anime was stiff as hell, CGI, flat writing, and a franchise coasting on a legendary name that it stopped earning. This anime mixes that gorgeous hand-drawn 90s feel with that 2026 quality, you know what I'm saying? So I think it might have landed into the right studio. And I'm not trying to predict anything, but I think this anime is going to be a classic, so go ahead and put it on your list. This one has people on the internet completely losing their minds, and I understand why. Because the creator is Hiromu Arakawa. Yes, that Hiromu Arakawa, the GOAT who made Full Metal Alchemist, the person responsible for the most emotionally destructive moments in anime history. This story follows twins, Yuta and Asa. Separated at birth, Yuta grows up in a rural village with no idea that a hidden world of supernatural beings called demons exists. Asa grows up inside that world, raised by people who treat demons as tools of power and status symbols. Terrifying underneath, and the twist is never what you'd expect. I ain't gonna spoil it, my guy. You gotta go watch that episode 1. People on Reddit also noticed that one character kinda looks like Edward if he was a woman. And now I cannot unsee that, and neither will you after seeing this. If this is even half as good as Full Metal Alchemist, we are in for something special. That's a low bar, by the way. Half as good as FMA is still better than most anime ever made. So this movie recently released in Japan, and there's this shot of a bubble, and that bubble was not animated digitally. The creators made it in real life using actual gel. They filmed it and integrated that footage into the animation. They could have just drawn it, but they did the harder thing because the harder thing looked more natural. The director Yoshitoshi Shinomiya worked on Your Name and The Garden of Words, so if the visuals feel familiar, that's why. The film also includes stop motion sequences. We're talking multiple techniques, multiple crafts, all in one film, all unified by this single philosophy that animation is not just a production pipeline. That is the most Miyazaki mindset, and I am here for it. When I say anime has never looked better than this is exactly the kind of work I am pointing to. Okay, I'ma be real with you. I just put Sinners to be a hero here for shits and giggles. I mean, the visuals are amazing, obviously. You also got big bitty tree deities walking around and a pretty good premise. Oh, and did I forget to mention, this was one of the, the most overhyped anime of 2026. Then fast forward 3 months later and somehow everyone just forgot about it. Not because it got worse, it actually got better. People just moved on. With that being said, this is still top 5 anime this year, and I highly recommend it. Okay, I need you to sit down for this one. Kyoto Animation announced Sparks of Tomorrow before the arsonist hack. They started it before July 2019, and on July 18th of that year, someone set fire to Studio One, and unfortunately, 36 people are no longer here. Those 36 people worked on Violent Evergarden and A Silent Voice. They were in the middle of making amazing things, and somehow, Sparks of Tomorrow survived, and it releases July 2026. From all the info I can gather, the story is something like this. It's set in the alternate steampunk Japan, covered in smoke. A boy who lost his brother, a girl hiding inside her dreams, 2 people trying to reach the future that feels completely out of reach. KyoAni's theme for this project is one word: regeneration. I don't need to tell you why that word hits different now. This is their first Netflix original, and I think it's gonna be one of the most important things they ever make. Not just because of the visuals, although it's Kyo anime, so obviously it's gonna be gorgeous, but because of what it means, that this project exists at all. I don't have any jokes for this one, I just want this to be everything it deserves to be. I forgot to talk about this in 2025, and I've been thinking about it ever since, so I'm putting it here, and there's nothing you can do about it. This Chinese animated feature has some of the best choreography I've seen in my life. I don't say that lightly. I watch a lot of anime. I also watch a lot of action. The way they balance making characters move fast while keeping everything readable and believable is... I don't have a word for it. A chef's kiss feels inadequate. It follows a young spirit named Shi and his master's former apprentice Lu, who are trying to uncover the identity of a mysterious assassin. The first film was beautiful. The second one is the reason this section exists. What separates Legend of He from almost everything I've watched is the insane commitment to animation principles. Like, there's a scene, and I know it's gonna sound boring, where a character sits on a beanbag, and the physics of that movement, the ease in, ease out, in a movie about supernatural martial arts, that's one of the things that stood out to me most. The attention to detail in this movie is insane. Then combine that with 3D camera work integrated so seamlessly with 2D characters, and you get this 2.5D effect where every fight scene feels like you're physically inside of them. The color work is gorgeous. If you haven't watched Legend of Heat 1 or 2, you are missing out on some of the best fights you will ever see in your entire life. This one is genuinely unlike anything else on this list. Simply playing the footage is enough glaze for its quality. This junk like real life. This is Studio Nothing New's first original animated film, and they're working with French studio Miu Productions on it. There's also a crowdfunding campaign currently running, so if you want to go support, I'll leave a link below. This film looks amazing. Tell them Tybe sent you. Last year, China had Japan in a chokehold, and while people were talking about To Be Hero X, I had my eye on another donghua set for 2026. This is that donghua, Call Me Lord Eerie Balis. I'm not gonna question that name, and from the info I could gather, which was not a lot, the world this is set in is genuinely unhinged. Something called the Eternal Night fell over everything, which triggered the return of supernatural entities and anomalies. From the trailer alone, it's giving Lord of Mysteries energy mixed with that super crooks action and horror coding over everything. Based purely on visuals, I'm already in, and if the story lands, this could be one of those shows that randomly pop off, similar to Be Hero X. Last one, and this might be the most interesting concept on the entire list, is set in the 13th century Mongol Empire, following our main character Fatima. Fatima is a woman from Persia, arriving at the Great Khan, carrying advanced medical and scientific knowledge that this empire has never encountered. It's essentially the Apothecary Diaries crossed with a bit of political thriller, set in one of the most powerful empires in human history. That premise alone is insane, and is going to be produced by Science Seru. Between this and Ghost in the Shell, Science Seru is about to have one of the most insane summers this year. So we made it to the end, and I want you to understand, I didn't have to dig to find these. This is just what this year looks like, and I don't think it's slowing down anytime soon. With that being said, if no one's told you today, I love you. If you want to love me, you can hit that sub button, and peace